aretikirire muhotane cira uyu nigetha one uria mungithika baba no riu Ngai matu-ini ni arona uria murekire kwenda gukwira baba arathikirwo irima ria biti 4 irima ria biti 4 nirio arathikirwo baba ni agathikwo biti 6 tondu arathikirwo biti 4 athikwo biti 6 kiunduire na athikwo na gitio kiria kimwagirire ta muthuri wa miaka 92 ta muthuri wina family yake ena iretu ake aria we eciarire na ningwenda kwira Rosemary shame on you uconoke muno ugithi guthika baba biti 4 thoguo uri uguciarite wa muthikire biti 4 we thoguo uri uguciarite tondu uthikite thoguo uri wa muthikire biti 4 athikirwo biti 4 muru wa nyukwa ni arakuire ori muthenya ungi twina cira uyu mwa muthikire biti 4 icio murathikire baba ndakwira uconoke muno wi hari uri
Mwega mwiroreri wa Cate Infinity ngunyite ugeni na ni ngatho muno ni gukorwo kinyitanira na ithui just a few days ago ndakorwo ngirehe rugano rwa Edith na arakorwo agitwira babao arathikirwo tangui na agitariria akiuga babao athikirwo thinacara cia hwaini na irima riria babao akorirwo ageikio riria around 3 to 4 feet futi 4 na kaingi ni tukioi irima ria kawaida riko riria futi 6 oroho kaingi ni tuwi irima mundu ekurikia kana ithanduku rikurikia gukorwo rigiikurukio mwiri ucio ni ukoragwo uwana ta ufuiriirie no riri ria babao ritiafuiriirie riatigirwo rirugamite o hau iguru na undu ungi wa kumakania ni ati kuringana na video iria ndikite gukorwo nginyita ya mathiko mau hena mutumia uronekana agithiruruka irima riu ageikagia cumbi kindu kiwana ta cumbi suspecting ni cumbi itakumenya ni rituals iriko ciako cikihanika na mathiko maya gutiari na service na gutiari na wingi wa andu ngiuga service kana wingi wa andu family no yakorwo ikiheo kanya gaka marero they are strangers tondu hatire mwana ono mwe wakihikitwo nake kwi muthuri uyu koguo onioki thini wa family no matina involve the biological children a muthuri uyu Odonge family no rakiheirwo kanyaga kaga guthika muthuri o magicinda cira kuria thini wa igoti kwina deputy governor wa Kiambu County ucio ni mundu wina ritwa riake na koguo tondu ni akihanire rugano kuria kwa Lynn Ngugi na akiuga a miracle happened mamu akihika na makihota guthoma and things went to the expectation tondu makihikire kundu kwina indo kurari na expectation ati mathiko mau maguthikano na njira ina gitio in a good way in a decent way kuringana na ritwa ria the DG na ona nyingi the DG ona ndari thini wa mathiko mau kuringana na uria kurakirikana and so after ciroyo wa gituo akiri wa family ya Edith ni andikire mateta kuri igoti tondu matiari satisfied no mateta mao makinyaga utuku kindu thambita na aya angi nao mandikire mateta mao muthenya uyu ungi after family ya Edith wakiri wao andikite ariwe Danstan Omari na aya makiandika ndikiri marekererio mwiri mathike and so gukerikana kuringana na Danstan Omari haria thini wa poto ya igoti mateta mao matiarorirwo maria marorirwo ni maya mokire thutha na makiheo ndikiri na mwiri ukirekererio no ugithie ugithikwo na koguo akoria how comes ni muonire mateta maria mokire thutha wa mateta makwa mukiaga kuona makwa maria mokite mbere undu ungi agikorwo agitwara mateta akauga muthuri uyu arathikirwo thinacara cia hwaini niki na ciana ciake citinahota gukorwo cigithie mathiko mau tao matari ciana cia muthuri uyu tondu nio magiciaritwo ni muthuri uyu na koguo akauga ni marenda mwiri uyu ukorwo ugithikurio muthuri uyu athikwo na gitio no na nyingi ciana ciake cikorwo cikiparticipate thini wa mathiko mau oroho akauga ni agukorwo agitwara emotion ya gukorwo ati riria kwina ngucanio ya mwiri kithemba giki gukoragwo ati ni maraheo ihinda ria thiko ciganona family cigakorwo akao ni ma decide guthika mundu aria make decide andu magetererwo magetikirio ma participate thini wa mathiko gukira mundu guthikwo na ihenya ugo kurahanikire oroho agagikorwo akiuga ati ona nyingi kwaheanwo thiko icio ciganona angikorwo kwina andu matari satisfied na mateta maya ni makuhota guthie gwika appeal rita ringi so ni kwenda uthikiririe Danstan Omari wigue ni mateta mariku marakorwo magitwara makuonania matire satisfied na uria mathiko maya marakorwo magiconductwo. Na nyingi ungirora thini wa video ni urona haria mutumia athiketwo. Kaingi twi mutumia na muthuri mathikagwo handu hakuhaniriirie, uyu haha uyu ungi ha, immediate metagwo immediate neighbors, andu mendanite, andu mahikanitie. No aya hena gap hangiingira mbirira ingi na agagikorwo na question gap iyo ni ya wira uriku. Na nyingi mburu kana ni arikia guthikwo irima riu ni riakorwo rigikorogwo. Na so I don't know what will happen, whether mateta maya ni maguthie through, but I just want you to listen uria Danstan Omari maragikorwo magitwara mateta maya.
Since at this recess I've gotten new instructions. The instructions are that, Your Honor, the court rendered its decision on the 16th of September. We filed our application on the same day, but seems that application has been overtaken by events because the subject matter, the body of the late Kinanu, was picked at night and buried at night. And therefore, if the subject matter has already been buried, our application has been overtaken by events. However, we shall move into a competent court to seek different orders for exhumation. Your Honor, in light of that, we urge that the court marks this application as withdrawn by being overtaken by events. That's all, Your Honor.
Now, good morning, members of the Fourth Estate. My name is Stanley Kinyanjui, an advocate of the High Court. There is a matter that became quite interesting sometime last year when an individual by the name Boro Kinani passed away sometime in November last year, and whose body has been preserved and had been preserved at AIC Kijabe Mission Hospital. We were given instructions to stop any intended burial by third parties, which we did, and we moved the magistrate court, and orders were issued accordingly. The people who gave us instructions were the biological children of Mboro Kenani, and they were contesting that the late Mzee Mboro Kenani ought not to be buried by strangers. And I say strangers, I mean his stepchildren. The magistrate court later on delivered its judgment and granted our clients the right to bury their father. However, unbeknownst to them, the respondents, who are the stepchildren of Mzee Mboro Kenani, moved to the High Court and sought a stay of those orders. Now, a stay again was granted by the High Court, and we agreed to dispose the matter by submissions. However, in between, we noted that in the supplementary record of appeal that was filed by the appellants, there were documents which had been sneaked in and which had not been filed in the lower court. We then filed an application to expunge those documents from the supplementary record of appeal and from the court record. However, the court, in its wisdom, decided that these documents were properly on record. And on the 16th day of September 2025, the court delivered that ruling, and thereafter, without giving any indication or even some small time and leave to appeal that ruling, continued and delivered its judgment. The judgment, in essence, came to overturn the decision of the magistrate's court and allowed the burial of Mzee Mboro Kenani by his stepchildren. Immediately after the judgment was read, we were informed that the correct way to put in an application for stay of execution of that judgment was through a written formal application. The same day, slightly past midnight, we filed an application seeking a stay of execution of those orders that emanated from that judgment. At the same time, we noted from the CTS system that at 5:27 p.m. on the 16th of September 2025, the firm representing the opponents, that is the appellants in the High Court matter, had requested for a decree. Now, ordinarily, one would think and suppose that all these documents having been filed out of court business hours, the same would be considered the next day. And true to that, the decree, or rather the request for decree that was made at 5:27 p.m. on 16th of September was efficiently and quickly acted upon, and a decree issued barely 24 hours later. However, our application, which we had also filed, did not get any directions. We waited for directions for the entire day of 17th, and the directions were neither forthcoming, neither was there an indication of any orders being made. Later on, we were informed by our clients that shortly after the judgment was read on the 16th of September, their step-brothers had already gone to AIC Kijabe Hospital and requested for mortuary fees and all expenses that were pending, and they even brought with them a casket to carry the remains of Mboro Kenani. On the 17th, I'm also reliably informed that the hospital was served with a decree that, as you can remember, I said was efficiently extracted within a span of 24 hours and served with that decree and the judgment. Now, the hospital had no any other thing or other step that they would take only to release the body of Mboro Kenani, which they did. And Mzee Mboro Kenani, as we have been informed, was buried on the 17th of September 2025 at 6 p.m. in the evening. Now, that then put us in a quagmire where we could not understand and appreciate what had happened to our application. Surprisingly, our application was given directions a day later, that is on the 18th of September 2025. Remember, this is an application that was filed under certificate at a few minutes past midnight on waking up for the 17th of September. So we had no other option but to withdraw that application, bearing in mind that it had already been overtaken by events. Nonetheless, we are still firm on the route that we are about to take, which we are ultimately going to see that justice is going to be served on our clients, despite the selective efficiency of the judiciary in this matter. Thank you.
Briefly, my good friend Mazshet Kinyanjui has highlighted how inefficient or efficient the judiciary is. Of great concern is that a man was buried at night without any ceremony. And this trend has happened. Now it is becoming a common practice that once a decision on a burial dispute has been issued, the body is buried at night. We shall be moving to seek orders to exhume the body, and we shall also be petitioning the CJ to give practice directions that whenever a burial dispute, a decision has been made, let there be an automatic stay for either 10 days or 14 days to allow parties to file an appeal. Because once the subject matter has been buried, the course of action changes from stopping burial to exhumation. And this is a serious issue that we have seen now as a common practice, where people are buried at night without the family members. Mburu Kinani is a father of the deputy governor of Kiambu. That is a very prominent person. Being buried as a dog is completely repugnant to morality and to justice. But we have instructions to pursue that issue should be done. And if the courts will uphold that the burial must be at Gilgil, then it must be done when every member of the family is present and all burial rites are performed by the public and by members of the public and the family members. Thank you very much.